Hey, everybody, welcome again. Welcome back to this live, so it's not a live summit, but to my summit, virtual summit, from the page to the stage. I'm so happy that you made it. I hope you have enjoyed all of the wonderful speakers who you've seen before you actually saw this video, because I'm really not sure at this point where I'm going to have my presentation at. However, I just want you to be motivated and inspired. And I mean, so many of them are giving great tips and strategies and inspirational, motivational tools and mindsets and things that you can apply to your life right now so you can be great in the thing that it is that you love to do, that purpose, that passion you have. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I have a passion. This is something that I identified in my life, even since I was a teenager, is that I love to see people happy. I love to see people doing things that they love to do. And I've never had that jealous thing in me or envy thing in me, like, oh God, I was inspired by other people, but I never felt bad when somebody else was doing something great. It always inspired me. And I know sometimes that can be a self-worth issue. If you already feel, if your core belief already is that I'm not good at nothing, I don't have a purpose, then that's when those type of feelings are kind of, surface. But I never really had issues in that area. I had issues in other areas. And so I love it because my thing is I'm next in line. Like, okay, or actually it just inspires me to look more within myself to find out, well, what is it that I do well? What do I love to do? What brings me joy when I'm operating in it? Where do I get excited at? Like for one of the things I love to do is speaking, naturally, preaching, love to do it. I'm in a zone. And you can tell when you speak about things that you're passionate about, like I'm doing right now, your voice begins to elevate and you start feeling that thing. It's like, because right there is where your passion is. And you're like, I feel good when I do this. And it's great because a lot of times you're doing something that serves other people and it makes them feel happy. And that was one of the things that I love. Like, wow, if I can deposit something in somebody else's life that's positive, that's inspirational, I've done what I was called to do. So it's easy to see why I have a career in counseling and life coaching. That's one of the reasons why I became a certified life purpose coach, because I know that I have an anointing, as some people call it, an apostolic anointing, because an apostle helps other people set up ministries and churches and different things. But in the spiritual and the natural, I know that God has used me to do that with other people. It could be something so basic as writing a book. For somebody, that's a dream come true. I remember when I wrote my first book. Oh my God. So when I realized that this is something that I do for people and the feedback that people give me, and I had one friend tell me, she said, Cheryl, if you was a person who was talking nonsense, I would still believe you. Because when you speak, because she sat in one of the conferences, I had a small little conference of women, and she came to the conference, and she said, I don't know, it's like when you speak, I believe it. I'm just all engaged and pulled in. And so I said, you confirmed what my purpose is. Because sometimes we all feel discouraged. I don't care who you are, where you at right now in this present moment. Sometimes we all go through moments of being discouraged. Things happen to us in life. Sometimes we find ourselves feeling stuck. We start to disbelieve our purpose and passion. For those of us who knew what it is or know what it is, but for whatever reason, you gave up on it. I can't do this anymore. That's not me. I must have been imagining things. You start going through all of that. And see, when you start getting into those feelings, they surface old feelings, old core beliefs that you have probably experienced growing up. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I can't do that. Nobody wants to hear me. Nobody wants to see me. You start going through all of those negative emotions and then you start walking in it. I don't want that to happen to you. So this is why I created From the Page to the Stage. It's time for you to manifest everything that's inside of you crying out. You understand what I'm saying? I want you to really, really, really take heed and understand that this is your season to get started. Don't worry about what you don't have. Don't worry about the means, how you're going to get there. Start the process. Write it down first. Yes, you still need to write it down and make it plain, but understand that you got to put some action to it. But understand that when you decide to step out and show up and do what you need to do by just getting started, You got to get to the point, whatever it takes for you to build yourself up, your inner man, that inner spirit self up, to get to the point where you believe that the right people are going to come your way, that you're going to eventually be in the right place at the right time, in the right room with the right people, and have the right opportunity. I'm trying to help you change your mindset, especially for those of you who are pessimistic. Because of things that happen to you, you may have a reason to feel a certain way. So your feelings are valid, but they're not necessarily true. They're valid that you feel that way. You have a reason. You might have been through hell and high water, okay? Been through some storms, some shipwrecks. Get into that Bible. Let me tell you something. There's some folk in there that I identify with myself. I found myself in the good book. And I'm like, well, Jeremiah went through this. Elijah went through this. Job went through this. Who am I? But not only that, I became inspired, building my faith up. So it can happen for you too. I don't want you to die in the winter. I believe it was the author Alice Walker who wrote a book, Don't Die in the Winter. That's a season that will pass. And so when you learn to change your mindset and believe and start thinking positive, then you'll start speaking stuff like, this too shall pass. This is just for a season. Even if you're crying and hurting, let me tell you, I went through situations where, oh my God, it looked like it wasn't going to end. I couldn't see the other side, but I believed, but I cried through it. Sometimes you cry through the pain. God, I believe you. I'm going to hold on. And I used to say, I'm holding on to holding on. So you got the holding on piece, but sometimes you're holding on to holding on. I hope somebody caught that revelation. Pick up what I'm putting down. Let me tell you, I can witness to all of those feelings that you probably internalizing right at this very moment. Passion, purpose. One of the reasons why I did this summit, I have a passion, again, to see you succeed, to see you happy, to see you joyous, doing something you love to do. So I want you to kind of just really explore those things, what it is. Ask people around you, ask your neighbors, your friends, your family members, what do you see that I do well? That's a strategy for you. Some of you never did that, and it may be a little uncomfortable right now, but ask the question. You'd be surprised what people will say. Oh my gosh, you're like, really? Okay, write it down, make it plain, because it's going to come back to you. Somebody else is going to say the same thing. Thus, your confirmation. You're going to get some confirmation. So I want to share a little bit about things that I birthed in my life out of my passion, sometimes out of hardship. Sometimes, look, you have nothing else to lose, and that's the mindset I had. Finding my back up against the wall in situation like, well, I ain't got nothing else to lose, so I might as well try this. I got to do something different, and you'll hear me say that in a lot of my videos for those of you who may follow me on YouTube or social media when I do live streams or pre-recorded streams, and I always talk about doing something different because I don't want you to be stuck in a spirit of insanity where you're doing the same thing over and over and over again and you're looking for a different result. That is considered insanity. You're not going to change. You're not going to have a different outcome. You're not. If you're doing the same thing that has never worked, if you're stuck in the same pattern, you got to change the pattern and you got to break the pattern. This is why I named my coaching business, Get Your Life Back, motivating you to break through barriers and propel into your purpose. So that may be a barrier from you, the same way of thinking, the same pattern of behavior that you need to break up. You know, it could be a spirit of self-sabotage. You need to break that up because sometimes you sabotage your own blessings and opportunities. And so you have to stop. This time to stop this. So I'm telling you now to stop it. So one of the things I want to talk about was how I birthed my natural product line called His Garden Naturals. And that's also on Facebook. And I have a website, hisgardennaturals.com. I just believe what makes me different than maybe some other people around me who are doing some wonderful things, it doesn't negate all of that, is that I love to include God in everything that I do because I really believe without him, I am nothing. I can't do nothing, right? I mean, can I be honest with you? Sometimes I feel like, God, without you, I feel like I'm mentally challenged, emotionally challenged, because I've been through traumas as a child and I've been through things. But the enemy would try to use those feelings and magnify them when you start operating in it and functioning from that level. But because I have a relationship with the Father, he did not let that happen. but it doesn't mean you don't feel that way sometimes. Doesn't mean I don't have thoughts of, especially when things may not work out a certain way or don't happen at the time that I expect it to happen. That's when those feelings come back. You know, those self-defeating thoughts, and I have to cast them down. I have to cast them down by speaking what God's word says. So my presentation right now may be more on the spiritual side because I am a minister, but not only because of that. This is how I have to share my story because it is part of my story. And so I have to include God in everything that I do. So that's why I named my product line His Garden Naturals, because I didn't create anything. I'm a co-creator where I may be able to take what God has already given us here in the earth and making something wonderful out of it, being creative with it. So this is why we talk about in this whole summit, using what's in your hands, what's in your possession. What are you producing? You can produce something. There's something you have, and I want you to tap into it, but I want you to identify it. So I'm speaking life to somebody right now. I'm speaking into your vision and your purpose and your passion, and I speak right now that it will manifest. First of all, it will surface. You will know what it is, and you begin to take the action that you need to get it and bring it into fruition. You know, so that's where we at. So here's Garden Naturals. Okay, make a long story short, I was on unemployment for a while, and I'm like, okay, this is, you know, I'm divorced already. I'm raising my daughter, and I'm feeling like, you know, I'm behind my bills. I feel like I'm sinking in the water. I'm like, something's got to give. So at this point, I was already spiritual or mature enough in my faith to ask God. I said, Lord, I want to use what's in my hands. I've heard the message so many times. I even preached using something that you already given me, God. What can I do? I know you've given me something. I possess something, but I need you to tell me what it is or remind me. And he took me back to previous projects, things that I worked on, unfinished business. Some of us have some unfinished business that we have to go revisit. So that's another strategy. When you find yourself stuck and it's like, okay, what can I be doing now? Something I need to do. I gotta, something else gotta go on in my life. Revisit some old stuff. You might have written some things down somewhere. I've got books and pads of thoughts and ideas and all kinds of things that I've written down. And I went back, but I went back to look at what those things were. But before that, he reminded me of, because I'm a licensed cosmetologist, how I always wanted to make my own product line, you know, and I thought about it, I said, wow, this is like the perfect time. Again, the thought was, this too shall pass. And I have nothing else to lose. Why not get started? I had a few hair clients. So I said, the strategy and plan was the money that I will make from my next set of clients, I'm going to invest into the ingredients that I need to make my products. Understand that I did some research already when I first came up with the idea. My daughter was a baby at the time when I first started researching on how to make natural products. We didn't even have internet back then when I was researching. I was going to the library and buying books and where do you order herbs and oils, essential oils and organic ingredients and all this stuff. And so I already had started doing some research. I became inspired by Lisa, oh my God, what's her name? Carol's daughter, Lisa Price, who created Carol's daughter. Because, you know, I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn and she's from Brooklyn. I'm like, wow. So that story. So I started inspiring myself, picking up books, Essence magazines, Ebony, Jet, other mainstream magazines, and just reading stories of inspirational stories of other people who are doing what they love to do. And I said, okay. So I did that. I motivated myself. I inspired myself by reading other people's stories. That's why I think this is so important, because it's so helpful to hear other people's story, real life stories. This is another reason why I love films that are documentaries, because I just like to hear true stories about people's lives and the changes and the transformation and transitions that they have gone through. So with all of that, I thought about, wow, this is the best time to get started. And then I can test my product on my clients. Why not? So I did that. I made my first, I think it was first 2 products. It was pumpkin spice butter, body and hair butter, and it was mango butter, mango mixed butter. Never forget it. And so when I made my first jars, small batch, I let my clients try it and they loved it and they started buying the product. Not only paying for their hair, but they started buying the products. I said, okay. I had friends around the way, who wanted to help me. Well, they wanted to help me by supporting me and letting people know on their job, my friend makes this and that. And so I had friends of mine who had coworkers ordering products. And I'm like, okay, they really liked it. So I found my first batch, honestly, came out perfect. I didn't have to make any changes because sometimes you do. That's the whole reason why you're testing it. And you want to get feedback from people. But the first batch came out great because like I said, I had done some research already. I went through the process of putting together my measurements, what I'm going to put in this, the purpose of my product, what problem it's going to solve. And that's how you get started with a lot of stuff. Answering somebody's question, what problem do you want to solve for people? That'll help you come up with a product or a service or a book, whatever format you want to use, a blog, a film, whatever. And one of my main things was to help people improve their skin and keep their hair moist and soft and all of that. And so I created that product and it came out great. And then one thing took off. I started making a shampoo, all body shampoo for the body and hair. And then I was making lip butters and I just made different variations. I didn't want to overdo too much. That's not the word I want to use. But I didn't want to, make too much because I already had learned in business that sometimes you can't just start out trying to make 100 different, say, aromas of body butters and then you're not selling anything. So I learned a lot about the business side of it, how you make a few things, let that sell well, see how that goes, and before you start adding on other products to my product line. So anyway, that was that. And so that became such a blessing in my life because look, we can sell stuff from anywhere. So I started selling online, doing the shipping, stuff that people are doing already, getting a P.O. box, the having a website and all of those things and what I want you to understand is that I don't want you to overwhelm yourself. And that's one of the words I was looking for earlier. Do one step at a time and you will grow with your passion, your project, your business, whatever, your mission, your cause, whatever it is you really want to do, and let it go from there. Embrace the failures and mistakes because they are learning lessons. This is another way to change your mindset. Don't see it as a failure to the point where I've given up. See it as a lesson you can learn from that situation, how you can make things better. Guess what? Everybody does that. I don't care what they're doing. Everybody, your employer, if you're working for somebody right now, your employer made a lot of mistakes before they got to where they are now. They're probably making some more, but you have to take risk. So you got to get in that mindset that you have to take risks, but it's okay. If it doesn't work right the first time, try it again. That's how his Garden Naturals was launched. Out of some financial hardship, and I needed to know how I'm gonna make it out of this place. Something got to give. I got to do something, and that's what birthed his Garden Naturals. I had idle time. I was on unemployment, so I started thinking again about my assets. What do I have right now that I can use? Because I didn't have the money, but I did have my side hustle. I used to work in a salon full time, but at this point I was working part time, and I'm back up a little bit. I had started doing mobile salon services, so that was something else I decided to do so I can keep more of the money, no overhead. I said, you know what? I've been doing it for a long time since I was a teenager, and I said, right now I need all of my money. So I decided to do mobile services. I had select clients that will come to my house, and there was a few people that I would go and do their hair in their home or wherever they are, hospital, wherever. And I found that, you know what? I'm going to brand this as a personal stylist. People like that whole idea of having their own personal stylist. It makes people feel special and great, like they're a celebrity. And said, my stylist came to my house, or my stylist came to visit me in the hospital. And I just started taking off from there. You can do that from anywhere. So I hope that encouraged you, somebody, about that. Looking inside what your assets, what your passion, see how you can put it to use, how you can get started, do the research, talk to other people. There's other people doing what you want to do, and they're doing it well, and they are experts or specialists in it. Learn from them. Connect with those individuals. See, one thing about me, I tell you, I'm bold. I don't care, because one thing my mother taught me, the worst thing that a person can say is yes or no. What else? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I ask that to the clients that I counsel sometimes. I counsel sometimes the ones who worry about everything. And what if this don't work? I'm like, well, what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? The person can say no. Okay. Because see, I'm also helping them deal with the spirit of rejection, but that's something else. So I'm helping them overcome that barrier so they can propel into their purpose. Okay. So that was that. So what I got written down here, because I don't want to lose my focal points. I talked about understanding it's a season that shall pass. You have nothing to lose. Keep that in your mindset. If you already feel like my back is against the wall, you might as well try to do something different. Talked about that. Utilizing your skills, utilizing your skill set, your talents. You know, maybe on your job, you've been great at doing something wonderful in a particular area. And maybe you need to think about, I could do this for myself. I can create a business, or I can start this project or something and get paid for it. The one thing I had in my mind was that I want to do what I want to do that makes me feel happy, and I want to serve other people, but I also have to pay some bills. I need to keep a roof over my head. Let me tell you, I went through homelessness. I didn't go back to school till I was in my 30s to get my GED. I have 2 masters now, but I had started over again. That's another broadcast. But I went through all of those transitions. So I understand that you may find yourself in that situation. It's not the end of the world. I went back to school and got my GED and my associate's and bachelor's and master's degrees and things that I wanted to do. And that's how I got into the counseling field. I utilized what I had. I'm a good listener when people are speaking and they're sharing things that they have gone through. I found that one of my strengths was being empathetic, able to put myself in their shoes to try to understand what they've gone through, what their feeling is, and then try to help them, change their life, change their mindset, using a lot of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy practices where you help people change their mindset so they can change their behavior and then they'll have a different outcome. That's the whole process. And so I utilized those strengths that I had and got a career out of it. So you never know where it's going to take you. You just got to get started and show up, like I said, and not waiting for somebody to give you permission. Because some of you are doing that. You're waiting for somebody to say, it's time to be on now. Let's go. Sometimes you already heard that still small voice tell you to start already. But you may be operating out of fear, and that leads to procrastination and other things. And we want to change that behavior. So if you want to work with me after this and you find that you need some one-on-one help, or you need a life purpose coach or someone to help you package your genius, that's what I call it, packaging your genius, your knowledge, your experiences, and creating a business for yourself or a service for for somebody else, I can help you do that because I've done it myself. I'm doing it now. Even doing this is part of my whole speaking and my life coaching, just offering something that can help people. Not everything has to be for the dollar. It's just helping people and offering value to others. And people love that. They're like, wow, it's not about what the product you have. They like you. And they want more of you because you're saying something, you're resonating with people. People can identify with your story. And so that makes people want to really, really I got to stay connected to this person. They can understand me. I think that's the person that can work with me because they know and not that you always have to go through everything somebody else went through, but I went through something and had similar feelings or symptoms that you may be having. And so that enough says to you, I need to stay connected with this individual. There are people I have in my life that I stay connected with. And I'm telling you, it really helps you keep from drowning. But anyway, so utilizing what you have in your hands, your skill set, like I said, at that job, something you do, and you do it well, and you're thinking, how can I repurpose this? I can repurpose it and turn it into something else. And that's what I did, which leads me to my next point. I want to talk about how I started Get Your Life Back, Inspirational Life Coaching, becoming a speaker, because it's something that I did already. I do all the time. And so when I was in college, in my graduate, I was taking a 3-year extended program in clinical social work at Fordham University in New York. And things became tight because now I'm a single parent. I'm working, I'm raising a daughter, and financially it was such a strain, but my time was being pulled because I'm working, I'm trying to go to school, but it just started really affecting my grades. My daughter's going off to school. Then I started doing my internship, clinical internship. That means I think I was doing my internship from 9 to 3. And then from 3 to 7:30, I'm at work because I was assistant director for after school program. When do I have time to study? It was at night. It was on a train. I did what I had to do. I studied on a train. Anytime I got a down moment, I would study. I would carry my assignments with me. You know, when I'm writing my papers and my outlines, you know, you just find ways and strategies to make things work, you know, trying to have everything in harmony and what we call balancing stuff, but it's really not balancing because something is going to be up here and something's going to be down there. Not everything is going to be equal. So you giving your attention to something more than you giving, you know, in another area. But I did the best I can do, but it just really started affecting my grades where I was dropping from B. I was keeping a average of B plus. Then I was going to B's, and then some of my classes I was going to C, and then I had a C minus. I was like, oh my God, I'm drowning. And of course, I felt a little discouraged because I wanted to have my license. I wanted to open up my own practice. I wanted to have a nice lofty office where I'm helping people solve problems and heal, you know, and help them to feel good about their life and have successful relationships. And so one of my focus and concentrations at school was marriage and family therapy and family work and children and families and premarital couples and working with married couples. That was all of my focuses in school because I like to help people heal and help them to function. And so when things started getting tough and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be able to keep this up, I'm going to end up failing, I had to shift. So what I decided, my mindset was I still want to be in a helping field. I want to still be in a human services field. When I decided to go and find another school and seek out where else can I go to school, I thought about online school because it was becoming very popular. This was about in 2011. I had finished, in 2007, I finished undergrad. I went to Fordham University in 2000, end of 2007, and about 2009, I had to make a shift. So in 2009, thank you, I'm trying to remember what year, I came across Liberty University online. I know they're a good school, they're very reputable, good reviews. I decided to meet people who go there, and I said, you know what? I'm going to enroll in Liberty University. It's a Christian school. It matched my values. I was going to learn some biblical stuff at the same time, so it was perfect for me. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And it did. It was perfect for me. I only had to do a year there at Liberty online in human services counseling. Again, taking a lot of classes that I needed to take. And so, no, I didn't have the license because the other program, Masters in Clinical Social Work, was a licensed program, but I would have been able to get my license and open up practice. But I said, I'm going to stay in the field. So the strategy was to shift. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Get my degree in that. And I realized that the human services field is broad, where you can do a number of things in the human service field. And that's what I did. And it took me about a year, very frustrating for a while, because I was like, I'm trying to apply for these jobs, and you know what you get. We're looking for somebody who have a year experience, a paid experience. I'm like, I done internship, all these other things I did, you know, it's like a social worker student, and you mean to tell me still? But I understand that's just how the system is. Finally, I got my first job position as a clinician. Well, I didn't have to be licensed, but I had to work under a licensed individual who provided the supervision for me. All fine. So anyway, I was able to do that. Again, I'm stuck with, but I really want to do this under my own terms and get paid for it and start my own thing and eventually quit my 9 to 5. You know, this is my mindset. And that's how I got into the field of life coaching. I'm like, wow, awesome. It's not as, you can't get as therapeutic as you would as a mental health professional, which I am as well. You have to kind of stay with helping a person, kind of like on the positive psychology approach to helping people, helping them, motivate them how to move forward in their life and things that they really want to do. And so you're helping them that way. You're not getting a lot into mental health and trauma and all that kind of stuff, because now you're moving out of, you're operating like a mental health professional licensed professional in counseling and social work, and then now you're out of, basically out of order, and you'll get in trouble for that. It's illegal to do that. However, the field of coaching is broadening, where you have therapeutic coaching, you have emotional focused coaching, and they come along with their own set of rules and stipulations and policies. But I'm saying it's just so endless. And so things are changing now. And because I have where I live at now, I am actually certified as a qualified mental health professional in the state of Virginia, which is wonderful for me because I did a lot of clinician work in New York. And when I moved down to Virginia, I was actually able to provide clinical services for people in their homes or where I was located at or whatever, and get paid for it. And I'm like, okay, but I also still had the mindset I want to do something on my own. And that's why I decided to go to school and get my certification as a life coach. And because I believe in helping people walk in their purpose, I said, and when I came across the school where they certify you as a life purpose coach, I jumped on it. I jumped on it at the right time. In the beginning, it was kind of hard because a lot of coaching schools is very expensive and I felt overpriced. And because things are changing and it's a growing field, I found some affordable programs and I jumped right in it. And that's how I got my certification in that. So I utilized, the bottom line is, my skill set, the things that I learned in my career and my experience, and turned it into a business. I love speaking. So putting together these summits and going out and speaking at different venues and conferences and all of that. And I have a lot more that I want to do and take. I'm just beginning, really. Really, I'm just beginning. But it's awesome. The possibilities are so I'll say endless, because it is. There's so much you can do, but you collaborate with the right people and it opens up a new world for you. And you didn't even see years ago, like, wow, I never thought I'd be doing this, but it can really happen. You can really be doing what you dream and what you actualize, what you imagine in your mind. It can really actualize and come into fruition and manifestation. And you find yourself doing what you dreamed of. That's a great feeling. So I just want you to be inspired by my story and get the ball rolling. Get started. So that's what that's what the summit is all about. And I think I'm just about finished. So that's how I birthed my speaking business, my life coaching business. That's how I move forward in my career and loving to help people, loving to serve. So I have not moved from that. That's the consistency. I have not moved from that. And don't move from your dream and vision. Now, of course, things can change. You may have a purpose or something you wanted to do before, and you may have picked up another passion. Life is a journey. It doesn't end. There's a multiplicity of things you can do. So, or things that you will do. There's a season that you may do one thing, and then you're finished with that, and now you want to do this. That's what life is about. And I want you to embrace that part of life. Embrace the changes. Nobody said you had to keep doing the same thing over and over again. I know old school teaches that because there was a time when, people was more focused on job security because they wanted to make sure they can provide for their family. But today there is no job security. Businesses changes, people merge, businesses fold. You're stuck somewhere. So I'm one of those people who believe in multiple streams of income, or doing multiple things, or shifting to something else. And that's transitioning, and it's good. When you embrace that mindset, you ready for the next thing. All right, I've done this. It's like people, they type of career or business or job takes them to different countries. Nobody say you have to live and die in the same state your whole life. Some people don't understand that. They have that mindset, oh, you seem unstable. You was living here, now you living there. And for you, it's like, I'm loving this. I'm living in Virginia now, but I might live in Georgia or LA in a couple of years. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm providing for myself and my daughter while she's with me, and she's doing her own thing now. So why not? Why can't I travel and I'm gonna live here for 5 years, but next I'm gonna move to Spain and live there for 5 years? Especially because I make connections. I do research before I go to a place. I want to know what the job market looks like. I want to know how it looks for entrepreneurship there. I make connections with people. I'll visit, I'll travel, get to know people. If I know somebody there, stay with them, let them show me around. See, I'm doing the work now. I'm just not just leaving stuff unless I have thousands and thousands of dollars that way. Where I'm like, I got enough to cover me for a couple of years. Let me sit back and see how the wind's gonna blow. I don't have it like that right now. But I do the research, I do the work, and I'm ready. So sometimes you have to be not impulsive, but have some kind of spontaneity in you. Some being spontaneous is ready to take risks and move. Because, and if you're a person of faith, that's how God operate anyway. When he feel like I can trust you, you're going to do this. I can use you for this because you're flexible with me. You believe me. You're going to trust me. You know, I'm going to be able to trust you in an Abrahamic type of walk where you may not see the whole end. You just see the beginning, but I'm going to show you the rest, and you believe God for the rest. Okay, God, you're going to take him. If you call me to it, you're going to provide. You're going to provide. And that's when your mindset, and I'm telling you, your life is more interesting when you have that mindset, because you meet wonderful people in the journey. It's great. It's a wonderful life. Just like the movie, it's a wonderful life. So summarizing all of that, I talked about how I identified my strength and my passion and that let me know what some of my purposes are and what I love to do and what gives me life. Helping other people feel good gives me life and self-gratification. It's like, wow, great. You feeling great? You feel good? You ready to do something new? Look, if you feel all of these wonderful feelings by tuning into this summit and you're ready to make a change, I'm happy. I've done my job. That's what it was all about. And not that I only want you to feel good. I mean, it starts there, but I want you to take any strategies and steps and action tips that I've given you right now that you can get started doing it. Write down your action steps. Write down what you're going to do first. When you find out the one thing that you want to do or two things you want to do, but I say start with one, research it. Find out the process of how you're going to make it happen. Put it on a vision board, remind yourself, let it be something that'll help reiterate to you, I got to get this done. To keep you consistent, if you need to work with somebody, I got a lot of people in this summit that can help support you. If you need somebody to help you stand along your side, be your personal cheerleader, I'm here for that. People are here for that. Don't always think you're by yourself. There's somebody out there who wants to see you win. They want to see you win. And so that was that. Now, I do want to tell you how to connect with me. My website is CherylYHoward.com because my name is Cheryl Yolanda Howard.com. I mean, Cheryl Yolanda Howard, but go to CherylYHoward.com if you want to see my website, find out more about me, who I am, what I do in my own business. But also, I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook. My Facebook page is, www.facebook.com/Cheryl Howard. Get your life back. I'm also on Instagram as Cheryl.Get Your Life Back. And I'm on Twitter as Get Your Life Back, but not with a B-A-C-K, B-A-K, because somebody already had B-A-C-K. So Twitter, I'm Get Your Life Back with B-A-K. And that's basically it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I have some other stuff, but I also have I have a blog called, it's Get Your Life Back, actually, but it's Get the letter Y Back.com. So GetYLifeBack.com. Go there as well. I put up, I keep inspirational stories up there. I speak a lot about my services, what I do. I put resources up there, and I also write on other sites such as Huffington Post. I'm a contributor to Huffington Post, so I write articles there. I think I just did my first article there about a month ago, so I'm going to be doing some more writing on there as well, because I just like to write as well. That's something else I love to do. That's why I was able to write my first book, because I realized when I was taking that time to think about what it is that I want to do, one of them was getting a book out. I've been wanting to write a book since I was a little girl, and I finally got that book, Let Me Out. So you can go to letmeout.net and you can also purchase that book. And I have more about the stories, and I really get deep in there because I talk about the struggles and the traumas that I went through as a child. I mean, a lot. I'm not going to mention here, but you will see the things I had to overcome spiritually, mentally, in so many different ways. And that's why I call it Let Me Out. And so you hear there's a constant theme when I do things. You're going to find that when you start operating in your purpose and passion, it just really confirms that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Let me out. Those things that's lying dormant inside of you, those wonderful assets you have and those passions, but it's time for you to get that thing out of you. You need somebody to come alongside and help you to birth it. Let me out. Get your life back. It's not too late, So there it goes, ladies and gents. I hope this inspired you Follow me, like I said, on social media. I also have a Facebook page group for single women called Single Women of Purpose. So find that group and request to join so I can accept your membership to join that group. I am helping inspiring single women to do all of the things I just talked about in this summit and more. You know, women who, for whatever reason, find themselves single and they have purpose in life and they need to just be in a room of other women who are either aspiring to do great things or who are already doing great things, people you can connect with, people you can work with, people that you can collaborate with. And I want it to be that safe place that we can discuss the struggles that we've gone through and those barriers that we face. And one of my goals for the group is helping people who are specialists in certain areas, who are experts, come into the group and provide you with the tools and things that you need, some real quantifiable strategies and tools that you can actually use now, practical steps you can take now to get started and get through to the next level. That's what it's all about. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining this summit from the page to the stage. I so appreciate your presence, gracing us with your presence, tuning into all of the presentations, listening to all the wonderful speakers and their stories and their strategies. And I hope that some kind of way we were able to help you, pour it into you, plant some seeds into you that's going to grow wonderfully. And and I'm happy. I've done my job. But tune in again to the next presentation. And I have a Facebook page for this group as well, from the page to the stage summit. You can find it on Facebook as well, because I'm going to be posting things throughout the summit. Don't forget to stay tuned and watch all of the videos. I don't want you to miss anything. And invite some people, invite some friends and family, neighbors, co-workers to jump on now, because the last day to register is April 18th. So it may be kind of late now that you're watching this video, but tell people about it, you know, and what you learned from it, and share the information. Take care. God bless.